Morning motivation time. Your host with the Moses Marquis Saint, and every morning I get up and I am blessed to be alive, and so are you. And this is the morning motivation. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about where I felt like I went wrong in life, and talk about life in general, because that's what we do around on this show. It was definitely a weird night last night. Went to a sex party. Got to see people's true desires once again, and it just kind of just showed me just how far we all get off the beaten path. Oh, I got a fucking pimple on my back. I can feel it right down my spine. So there it is. Me popping my own pimple in the middle of my back because I don't have anybody around me to do it. It's one of the mistakes of my life, is thinking that I can do it all by myself. I double down on stubborn. I say to myself, bite down on your mouthpiece and get her done. And in the force, I lost my love. I lost my love in life. I lost someone loving me in life, and chasing my ego and my goals obviously killed the desires that I really wanted. And that's what I'm coming on the show to talk about this morning, was just how we chase things thinking they're going to make us happy. We get set on a course of, okay, if I do this, if I make this amount of money, if I have this person in my life, it's going to give me X, Y, Z. It's going to give me this outcome. And the way I went wrong at life was my outcome was strictly based off of me. And even if I sit here and I look at all the things that I've done, I got my monkey tail, I started Weed Club, the Weed Club card, we got billionaire hemp wraps, and even got containers, like selling the backpacks too, and all these things that I've surrounded myself with, right, and thought were going to make me happy, Turns out I was supposed to try to make other people happy. It was a very difficult situation to wrap my head around, but, we're on this people planet full of other people, and it's all about people. It's not about the planet. People ain't worried about the planet. The planet will have to fix itself, and eventually I think the planet will. Mother Nature wins in the end. It's kind of least affected by our little micro expressionisms and micro problems on this planet. Mother Nature settles all debts, right? She's the end all be all of everything. If she wants to burn the earth, she will. If she wants to melt the earth, she will. And taking the aid from other people, they get involved on it too. And that's where I started seeing the situation was we get so involved with us. What am I going to buy next? What makes me look cute? Who am I dating? Constant competition left me with no appreciation. I didn't appreciate the people that were in my life. I mean, everything's reason for the season, but the truth is I was too busy worried about me winning. I was too busy concentrated on winning. To become a real winner, we got to consider other people winning and making them feel like they win, and making everything a win-win instead of, oh man, I just scammed this person, so I made all this money. All I had to do was sell a bunch of crypto to some unsuspected bastard. Now he's got the problems and got me out of my situation because I sold him drugs, or I weakened my fellow man, woman, by giving them the things that I thought would heal them or make them, or make me more profitable. Not healing them, but make me more profitable. And I think most people right now, when the gun was to their head and said, hey, what do you choose? You would probably choose profitable. And what's weird for all of us is that's the human nature of it all. Instead of choosing our health so we can be alive to enjoy the profit, we just want to have the outcome. We don't want the process. We don't care how the other person ends up, and that's worrisome. And that's why I posted it this morning. Is that's the quote was that simple. Was trying to remember the exact quote, but the general idea was that we are ourselves chasing something. It's not a matter of like who we are. It's more of how we are, and how we treat situations, how we treat other people. The competition's really in how we translate ourselves. You know, I felt that it didn't matter who I was, right? Like, you know what I mean? That's just who I am. And that's what the quote said. It's just something like, it's not who you are, it's how you are. And that's like, whoa, it's how over who. And I think most people are very focused on who you with, how much money do they have, how much do they look like they're making, how happy they are, blah blah blah. When that's a solitary competition. Your happiness is totally on you. It doesn't, even if you win the Super Bowl, each teammate is going to have a different view on what makes them happy and what is a touchdown and how they celebrated the touchdown and how happy that made them. I'm going to turn this brighter. Perfect. That's just where I live at. I live in this world where it only mattered how I felt, you know? And if I felt crazy, then I'm going to be crazy, and I let my crazy out on motherfuckers, and motherfuckers is like, you are not helping me. You're not helping my situation. You are added drama. You are added headache. You're just anxiety. And I'd feel anxiety too, and unknowingly share the anxiety, which is like really not good for leadership skills. And all I wanted to be was an awesome leader because I was an older brother. And it's something that I believed in. You know, I believed that I was a good leader, therefore I kept practicing at it, even though I didn't have my siblings following me, even though I was abusive, even though those things kind of rained in on my head. This is what I'm talking about this morning, is that's it, you know? It's always about how we're making other people feel. And I got it all wrong because I was always the way about how I felt in such a very self-centered way. It wasn't like, you know, let me translate. I was like, each man for himself. You're going to have to take care of your own happiness, just like I'm going to take care of my happiness. You know, to each his own, each man for himself. Do you, boo? And it was like, how about do better, boo? That was really it. It's just me. No, this is that worst version of me. It's just one of the versions of me. And instead of saying it's just me, that's a cop out. Instead of saying I can do better or I'm empowered or give me a sec, you know, let me work on it. It was just like, that's just the way I am. And instead of saying I can be better or I can change or let me work on that, which was exactly what I posted this morning. We don't want to work on ourselves. We want people to accept us without change, without any correction whatsoever. We want motherfuckers just appear randomly and just get it right. And this is not how we work. Kind of like what I was talking about yesterday. It's almost the same thing when I post this, like, you know, asking somebody else to change when you know how hard it is to change yourself. You know, we all know how hard it is for us to give up a habit or a way of life, and then that's what we're really talking about here. And it's not about this is the way I am. It's about the way you could be. Literally, the way we can be, the improved version of us instead of the lazy version that's in front of you right now. You know, there's always that version of us, or, you know, if we had tried harder or put in more energy, the outcome would have been different. But instead, Billionaire Blunt. But instead, we're just more worried about how we come off to other people on a superficial level than on a deep level on, did we leave that other human better off than when we found them? And I'd like to think that that's what I've done, but I've left disasters out there. That's been my mistake, you know? Not that their mistake was loving me. That's not the mistake. The mistake is not respecting the love. You know, there's something so much about ways we can improve ourselves, you know, not just cover up things, you know, because this seems to be the MO. Let's just go have a bunch of sex with strangers like I watched last night. Let's just all get banged out by people I don't even know so I can get fulfilled, so I can have a smile on my face, so I don't feel so stressed out, or I don't feel so unwanted by my husband, or I want to feel something, I want to feel change, I want to be in life, I want to fucking enjoy. And that's what I saw. I saw a bunch of normal people having sex with strangers just so they could feel different. And not that that was right or wrong or indifferent. I'm not judging that. What I'm saying is, who are you? It's a big question to ask oneself. Like, who am I? What is my purpose? What am I really doing here? And you're like, well, I want to bust some nuts. Okay. Well, why are you trying to bust nuts? Well, because I feel lonely inside, or I can't keep a relationship, or I just want someone to touch me, or I'm sick of feeling alone, or my husband doesn't touch me anymore, or whatever the fuck it is. Translation. That's what I need as a translator. That's why I feel like this show is like, what are we really saying between the lines and the action? And the action was to just be better, bro. Like, straight up. I don't know how else to explain that. I wanted it to be so successful. I put all my effort and energy, and when I went wrong, where I went wrong after it, this is not enough just for me to be successful, but for all of us to be successful. I think we get a Hollywood version of success where it's only us on the red carpet. Everybody's loving our new film. Our hair's perfect. The dress is perfect. We're wearing, whatever, Oscar de la Renta, and we're showing off the dress, and everything's supposed to be super happy. But our happiness isn't there. I mean, that's really what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a lot of people where they were, what is it, the King's festival, and all these actors are in fights. One of them's dating one after she's been divorced, but she's directing, and then she fired somebody, but she lied about it, so it got a lot more attention. And then her co-star wasn't even making eye contact with her or some shit, and it was just a whole hubbub of people that are still obsessed about their image, the outer part, that they're willing to sit separate from the person they're dating, and not look at the key actress that helped in the scenario, and be weird on the red carpet and kissing boys, and all sorts of weird shit just happened. I won't name drop what the fuck, but I think you know what I'm talking about. And you look in this world and you go like, wow, there's a lot of things that we go wrong by ourselves, you know, teaching us that external view of being married to, as long as you think that I'm happy, as long as you think that I'm sexy, as long as you think that I'm successful, that's all that's going to matter. And I'm here to say success doesn't matter. That's all external. That's getting everybody to vote for you, or pretending to get people to like you, even though that people can change their minds about you. And that's this morning motivation. We're going to get into it and find the motivation into fixing topics instead of hanging tough and doubling down on ignorance, Instead of saying that's the way that I am, we could totally get the attitude of, I'll work on that, I'll work on being an asshole. I'll work on my empathy. I'll work on being a better lover. I'll work on being a better partner. I'll work on being a better human, greatest human of all time, being able to talk to ourselves and say, you know what, I don't know all things. Sure, I can grow a beard. Sure, I can get a backpack. Sure, I can start Weed Club. But until I have people in Weed Club getting benefits from it, then I've only benefited myself. And if the relationships are always just only about me, then it was never about them. And the amount of energy, similar to like money, it's almost like when you make I don't want to rape and pillage, but when you go in there and you get the what do they call it, the booty, if you will, the bounty, if you go inside of a situation and you don't share with the other soldiers that helped you take, I can't remember the name I'm thinking of, but when you go into a war scenario, and you pillage, what do they call that? Anyway, let's just say that you don't share with these soldiers. You just want all the glory for yourself. And what ends up happening is the people that busted their back getting that energy to you no longer wants to share that energy with you. If that's the kind of energy that you're giving, they're not going to accept it. And you can stay unaccepted. You can stay raw, but you can stay alone. And in this game, it's all about people. Whether you're buying a ticket on the bus or on an airplane. It's the way we translate ourselves, and most of us only arrive for benefits of when we think the person, oh, it's a guy I like. Now let me show up with my better attitude. Now let me show up with my best outfit. Let me get my Sunday's best. Ignore Monday through Saturday and only do my best when it behooves me. And I want to behoove other people. I want to work on things instead of just always staying the same. And I want to just think that my shit didn't stink. I had things to work on. And part of it was my scope. The scope of what I view things and how I view things. Going to a sex party and watching people fuck each other's wives and be naked and get into it that way, right? When I'm looking at situations, that situation in particular, it's a new situation for me, but I'm looking at a lifestyle choice. A choice where you said, I'm not worried about the status quo anymore, right? I actually made a shirt that said something over status quo. Priorities? No. Something. Anyway, I'm smoking weed and high on a Sunday, but, chilling outside with the plants, listening to the birds chirp. I just realized that I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and as a mistake master, there's certain things I would undo. There are certain things I would hit the rewind button, and every time I'd hit the rewind button, I would think it was changing the next outcome that I first rewinded on. So I'd love to rewind what happened here, but if I hit the rewind button here, this probably would have never happened. So I do that. I do the regret game. I do the focus game. I do the game of where did I go wrong? Why did I squander my blessings? And how come I didn't treat people better? And that's a motivation into itself. I know most people be like, bam, all in your face, just be kind. It's a lot more than that. It's a deep, kind soul, man. And it's more than being kind. It's being like aware and wanting more for the other person as you want for yourself. Divvying up that booty. Divvying up the treasure chest. Let's call it a treasure chest. You go to war, you get all this treasure, loot. That's what I think the word I'm looking for. Was there something else? But anyway, it's obsessing my mind, but I can't get to the word. I'm not getting the word. The word's not coming to me. But literally, when you go into war and you go get all this treasure and then you got all your soldiers, they split it. And you feel like you're a part of it. But most of us are the only ones on the podium. We want to be the sole hero. We want to be the stoic that's all by himself that saved the day. And Hercules, all of this is on me. And I'm just kind of sick of being Atlas. I'm sick of holding it all up by myself. I kind of want to look over and say, my friends helped me with that. Or, I wouldn't be here without my people or my wife or my loved ones or my family and the things that got me through. I was listening to Shaq. And Shaq was saying it, he was saying, I had nothing. He's like, fucking $500 million, 75,000 square foot. You go in the kitchen, it's empty. There's no energy. You just basically created your own fancy cage. And even if you go to the car garage and stare at the cars, you can stare at them, masturbate to them, lick them, all you want, but not another car, not another toy can fit in that garage to give you the happiness. And I think that's when we get scared. I think that's when we get real with each other and go, oh shit, I can't buy my way out of this. I can't talk my way out of this. I can't feel my way out of this. It's all about the way they feel, and that's what I'm going to get out of this. It happens a lot, usually in courtrooms, but it's like, the reality I was living in, the disillusionment comes to real because this person's about to dictate my life. And whether I thought that I was in the right or I could have top secret documents in my pockets or leave them at my Mar-a-Lago page and stuff, no, bro, you had more responsibility to the paperwork than that. We have more responsibility to each other than that. That's it. And as much as we'd like to hide away or numb away or pretend away, we are involved with each other. You're going to be having to talk to somebody, a judge, a cop, a boyfriend. Somebody's going to have to come up in your face and tell you what time it is. And you're like, no, I thought it was Thursday. No, man, it's Sunday, bro. You missed a couple days. You missed the point. And that's why I feel like now in 42 years of my life that I missed the point. It's not all about being successful, being good looking, having the money, having a lot of girls. The game's done changed. It's just done changed. It wasn't about having how many girls I could have. It was like how many healthy relationships I could have. That's where it comes down to. How many people did I leave a positive impression upon? And how many people did I use, abuse, and leave in my wake? And I don't know many people that have that kind of balls to admit it. Not that I need to pat my narcissistic self even harder on my back. I'm just saying that there's people in our wake. We're in the boat and we're leaving them in turbulence and we don't know what's going on or what happened or why, but it's really a choice. It comes up out of us and go, am I going to be competitive with this person? Am I going to be compliant? Am I going to be courteous? And it has a lot to do with us. I practiced it last night, so I had a little redhead. Topless, center of attention, extrovert. That's why she has to be in the middle of the gangbang. And she's telling me to my face, that's not right. That's not what's happening. And they're filming people, like, while they're having sex in the house. So you can watch people having sex on the TV, but it's not broadcasted to, like, Pornhub. And as she was being upset, I'm not trying to compete with you. Oh, there's no competition. I said, yeah, there's no competition here. There's no competition. Most people say that in a snarky way, like, you're no competition to me. When I'm competitive and egotistical, that's exactly the mindset that I have. It doesn't matter what happens. I'm going to have to fucking fight. I'm going to have to put up a number. I'm going to have to compete. I'm going to have to kill someone. I'm going to kill the game. And really what I wanted to do was enjoy the game. I can kind of feel it right here on my arm too, but sometimes I get a pain. And I know it's from my heart. And last night I kind of got a little bit more heart pain. I get heart pains. I've been since I was a kid, but now more than ever, it's like I'm older now. I still smoke my blunts every day. I'm eating my sugars, and I'm going like, how much time I got left? And it's a realization I get from Robert Greene's books, The Law of Nature, and how we don't want to reflect on that. We want to reflect on everything that being perfect. We don't want to reflect on it ending. We want everyone else to keep showing up and lose nothing behind us, like lose no grandparents, lose no time, lose no weight. We want it all. I want all my moments to be perfect and happy, and we're finding out that slowly that it's not. And fighting for happy is a battle, and choosing it is a choice, and an effort to put behind it to get there is also a choice. It's like, how much effort am I putting in, and where am I putting that effort in? What box gets filled? Does my self-indulgent box get filled, and is it ever filled? How many sex parties can I go to till I'm happy? How many people can I have sex with till I'm happy? How many meals can I eat till I'm happy? Turns out gluttony, it makes us feel okay, kind of like eating disorder, like we're full, we're okay. Cheio, as they say, cheio in Portuguese. And imlau, full. And we fill ourselves with these things, and then it's not enough. So it's almost the essence of scooping water out of a boat with a bigger hole than the bucket. That's how they keep us continued on. That's my Saints Anarchy, is to fight that system, to fight against us pouring energy and love and resources into something that doesn't give it back, and trying to be the vessel that does. Imagine being that kind of ATM. Imagine you go up to an ATM, and for some reason this gives you double output or triple output. Now imagine you're that human being, and when people come up to you and they push your buttons, they get triple the return. They're better off from knowing you. And I wish it to be such with me, but I don't think my siblings are better off from knowing me. I know my ex isn't. I think she thinks it was the biggest regret of her life, that she really fucked up, that she should have never loved this man that was so broken and angry and bipolar. And I'm sure she's thinking on this number, even though I don't feel that I'm bipolar. I'm looking at myself, trying to admit it in the mirror, you know. Is it possible? Sure. I give it that. I would probably say I'm more narcissistic, you know. And I told her that, you know. I told her I would run. I told her I would cheat. I told her I would be abusive. This is me. You hear me when I say it? This is me. And making an excuse for my bad behavior by just saying this is me, instead of I will work on that. That's this morning motivation. It's saying, what are we going to work on, dog? Because all of us have flaws. I can sit here and make fun of myself all day, but I watched a lot of flaws last night. And not that I'm judging in their decisions. I'm just saying we're all flawed. And in our flaws, that's where I see it. In our flaws, that's where I see work that needs to be done. You know what I mean? And it seems like a lot of times people can stare at the same thing. It's garbage on the ground. That's somebody else's job. Don't pick up the trash. I'm cleaning out my closet, man. You feel that? On my 30 minutes to shine this morning, cleaning out the closet. Working on some of these dusty things that need work. Even though 42 years old, I can keep continuing on being my asshole self-centered, and narcissistic, and unempathetic. Or I'm going to start finding ways to be more empathetic with people, understanding them. Like I said with that redhead, I spotted the egotist. So it's like I always try to top people with my ego. It became very destructive. It's like we build each other up to this volcano that just dissipates and it destroys everything. I've been chaos my whole life. You know, I've been a loner. Not a lot of people want to be around me. If you were around me, I'd probably beat you up or kick you away and ignore and delete and block. I've done it all. And even to the most beautiful woman in my life, I've done it. Even to my pregnant baby mama, I've done it. You know, I just, I couldn't handle the intimacy. You know what I'm saying? And it got too close, got too real. And sometimes I think that's what we do when we get too close, too real. It's like, oh, I get that feeling, and I need to go get a beer. I need to numb it. I need to ignore it. I need to ignore these desires to be a different me. And then there's the repetitiveness, habitualness that I go back to and say, that's just me. So we all say it all the time. That's just me. I was being an asshole. That's just me. It doesn't give us an excuse for the behavior. Input, output. We gotta stop giving ourselves these outdoor kick out the side. I was on my period. I was drunk. You know, we're rationalizing, we're excusing, and we're not accepting extreme responsibility for our actions, decisions, and energy. So that's the morning motivation. I'm going to get motivated today, break the cycle somehow, some way. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but just, I don't know, get in the car and move, do anything to keep the motion creates emotion. And that's why I only do the show for like 30 minutes. I don't want to sit here and just smoke blunts and talk and blah, 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 blah. It's like, look, you got 30 minutes of my day, but I need to go get 30 hours of my life. And in that, not only just feeding me and how it feels, it's having the sun on my skin and the morning breeze and yep, that feeling of being alive, watching things, even though it's the same view and it's a different day, it's still a life. And I need to do a better job at protecting that. So thank you. Thank you for watching today. Listening to me babble. My psychobabble bullshit. I rather have made a difference. I'd rather have protected life and protected love and protected the things that I cared about, and instead of abused it, used it, and left it behind. That's where I went wrong. Where'd you go wrong? Comment below. Peace and love. I'll see you on the other side. Jigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever in Finnish. And if you don't believe me, try spelling it and looking it up.